These are the quiz corrections for quiz number 11. Question number 1. Multiple choice. Which statement is not always true about a parallelogram? So you're just looking at all your properties. And of your properties there, the diagonals are not congruent. The diagonals are not congruent because that's a rectangle. Does that make sense? The other three properties here, 2, 3, and 4, are specifically about a parallelogram. Question number 2, which statement is true about every parallelogram? Which means that all the other statements are false, which means they're all other properties of different quadrilaterals. Choice 3 is the only one that's true about parallelograms. Diagonals are perpendicular, that could be a kite. The interior angles are all congruent, that's a square. All 4 sides are congruent, that can be a square. Question number 3. And question number 3 is shown in the diagram, rectangle ABCD below. Diagonals AC and BD are intersect at E. So to a rectangle, we know that the diagonals are congruent. Okay? Now, I drew here AE is x plus 2. Well, if you know a rectangle is also a parallelogram, they also bisect, which means that these two have to be the same. So you would have to copy x plus 2 up here. BD is also the other diagonal, so you just set them equal to each other. And you get x equals 10. When you get x equals 10, you'll get AC to be 24. So the common mistake is to think x is equal to 10. Question number 4. In the rhombus ABCD with diagonals AC to DB. Now when you're reading a question, they will actually give you a clue. Here's the clue, the word diagonals. So you need to know the property of a rhombus and a diagonal. So when you do that, you'll get a right triangle. If you know that's 10, and it says AC is 6, that means that you can have a right triangle with 2 sides, 10 and 6. You can use the Pythagorean theorem, and you would have gotten the other side to be 8. Now, once you solve for this side to be 8, it's asking you what is the length of DB. 8 plus 8 is 16. That would be choice number 2. Questions 6 to 8 are just talking about the properties and using your map. Always, always, and sometimes are your answer. Question number 9, most missed question. You need to find what is the length of AC. So very similar to the other problem. If you know that this is 3x minus 4 and this one's x plus 12, you set them equal to each other because in a parallelogram, diagonals bisect. When you do that, you get x equals 8. Now, if you and your partner only got x equals 8, I give you 3 out of the 4 points. You found x and not AC. So AC is the whole diagonal, which means you have to combine like terms there. When you combine like terms and then substitute x in there, you'll get AC to equal 40. On the back side, this was a similar question to last year's tests. Number 7, ED is 37 because your diagonal is 74 and your diagonals bisect. Question number 8, AD is equal to 33. Opposite sides are congruent. Question number 9, BAD is 125 degrees. Opposite angles are congruent. Question number 10, 55 degrees. Consecutive interior angles are supplementary, so blank plus blank equals 180. Question number 11, angle ACD is 45 degrees because alternate interior angles. Number 12, AC is 74, and a parallelogram diagonals bisect, which also means the diagonals are congruent. Alright, probably the hardest question of the quiz was number 13. The question might have been, which 2 sides are congruent? Okay. Now, you know that you can't do AB is congruent to BC. The reason why is because if you set them equal to each other, the x's will cancel and you get 3 is equal to 4, which means no solution. Which means you have to set BC and CD equal to each other. If you do that, you'll get x equals 5. If you get x equals 5, then the other two sides are congruent. Notice it has a y variable or x variable in there, substitute in there, and you'll get y equals 7. Now, if you did get question A, says, what is the perimeter of the kite? So perimeter just means substitute your values back in, and you'll get the side lengths of 8, 8, 9, and 9. If you add those all up together, you'll get a perimeter of 34. I made question B extra credit. So if you and your partner got some points on there, I changed it to 2 points extra credit. I also changed question A here, instead of 2 points, as a total of 4. Question 13C, I made extra credit. Is it possible for AC to be 19? It can't be, because if 19 is its length, then it wouldn't form a triangle. You would have to show me triangle inequality theorem. And then on the Inky, there's your answers.